Hey guys, Josh from the Steelverse. As you see by the title of the video, this is my custom collection. This is part 2. So I did a part 1 a few months ago, which you can see on my channel, and also did my Defenders ones, Marvel Defenders box sets recently. Again, you can see them on my channel. So these ones are non-MCU ones. Basically, as I've said before, I'm quite limited on space. I've got 3 young kids, limited storage, and instead of thinking, oh, I can't collect films anymore, I thought of a way to put them into either bigger cases or condensing them into a way where I can keep collecting but also have a lot of space. So it's like a shelf space saving exercise, which I try and encourage all my buyers to do as well, and it's helped quite a few people out a lot. So I'm just going to run through what I've done. It might not be what everyone enjoys, but it's what I like, and if you're a collector, everyone has individual tastes. But yeah, so I'm going to start with some of my Blu-rays. So I did this one recently. It's a Batman animated collection. So I've got loads of films of Batman. I've got loads of them on Steelbook. I've got the animated series in a Blu-ray box set. I've got, what else have I got? I forgot then, Batman Beyond box set. And they've got films within them, so I didn't need to worry about saving space for them. But I had The Dark Knight Returns Part 1, and then another case Part 2. The Killing Joke I had as well, and what else? Red Hood. And I've got Lego Batman, but I've given that in my son's collection, which I'll show another time. And I just needed to save some space on this certain row. So what I did was I put them into for now, a 4-disc Blu-ray case, which is a 14mm. So it takes up, it's only one case space. So I've put the Dark Knight one on the front. And then, so originally this says Dark Knight Part 1 under there. But what I did, or Dark Knight Returns Part 1. But what I did was I put the animated collection. I'll put Part 1. Because if I want to get more, I can do another little Blu-ray cover for that. The spine, so I just got the Batman title on there. And then for the back, I quite like the Killing Joke image, so I just put that on there and remove the title. So yeah, so these are non-glossy covers. This is what we make. So they're non-glossy, but they're high quality print. If people have ordered from us before, they know they're going to get in high quality. And once they're in the case, it shines anyway, so that's beauty. And this, like I said, holds all 4 discs. Now you can get a 6-disc case, which will be the same size. I just had a 4 case on me, so I did 4 case. But if I want to expand, I can either get a 6 case or I can do a part 2. But yeah, so that's number 1. So that's one of my Blu-rays. Now I'll show people on my Instagram this, but big fan of Jackass. I can't remember if I showed this in my last video. If not, I'll show it again. Big fan of Jackass, and I looking forward to the next one. I really enjoyed the series, and I really enjoyed the 0.5s that they did, apart from the latest one, Jackass Forever, or 4.5, what it was called. Didn't enjoy that, but I thought I want them all on Blu-ray, and how can I do that while saving space? So I went on eBay, bought them all for about, most of them for like £1 each really, and then I've put them into a big 25mm Blu-ray cases, and these cases can go for about £13, but they can fit up to 12 discs inside, and they literally take up the space of just under 2 Blu-rays. So it's my front cover there. I quite like this one. I've added Jackass the collection. I've added the warning on there, and then the spine I've kept quite simple. But yeah, so this currently has 11 discs in it, and then a space for the new one. So in here I've got Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, the first movie, which I think is on DVD, but that doesn't bother me. Number 2, uncut, 2.5, number 3, 3.5, Bad Grandpa. I didn't get Grandpa Part 0.5. I couldn't find it anywhere cheap, but I may do that one day. And then, yeah, Jackass Forever. And then I've even got one of the bonus discs in here as well. So yeah, and that fits in 12 discs. And yeah, it's perfect, really. And then move on to my other Blu-ray. Again, you might have seen this on my Instagram. I love Stranger Things. I know not everything's amazing about it. I know the final series wasn't entirely brilliant, but I still enjoyed it. And I really wanted to own it, But at that stage, they didn't have many of them on discs, unless you were going to get bootleg copies. Obviously, since doing this, you can get a big 4K box set or the big Blu-ray box set, but it's still quite expensive, more expensive than what I would have paid for it. So I did the same again. I got a 25mm case, and then I got loads of bootleg discs, and I had to get season 3 on DVD because I just couldn't get the Blu-ray for some reason. But that doesn't matter. I've checked it and it still looks pretty good. And then luckily there's enough discs to fit in this case. If they made more series, I'd have to do another case. But I took the artwork off the official Stranger Things poster. I think this was seasons 1 to 4. And what I did was I adapted it and added some characters from season 5 onto it. So this is what it is here. So I've added Vecna up there, and then I've added some characters from season 5 in there. And I like this case because it just has all the characters, all the different moments from the seasons as well. I just called it Stranger Things because when you watch it, they just do Stranger Things and then do numbers. So I thought Stranger Things would just be a cool title. And in the back, I've got Hawkins there with the Mind Flare looking over it. And then for the spine, I've done black with a few white specks, almost like a video. And then title there. So this fits again, all the discs in it. And I know there's a big box set and it looks better, but even me buying all the discs, buying the case, putting the artwork together, it still costs cheaper than what I would have done. So yeah, so that's that. Now this one's actually my favourite one that I've done so far. So I'm a big John Wick fan, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4 and Ballerina. So that's obviously 5 Blu-rays I had, and a couple of 4Ks were in that, I think. And I thought, well, they're just going to keep making more. They've confirmed that they're thinking about, well, they're doing like an anime film or something like that, an animated film with a prequel of John Wick. They're doing a called Kane, so they're about the blind guy in the 4th one. They're doing a spin-off with him. And then they're also thinking about doing John Wick 5. And then they'll no doubt they might do a Ballerina 2, or they might do more spin-offs. And I'm just going to keep adding these Blu-rays on. So I thought, why don't I just jump ahead? And luckily I had a 9-disc Blu-ray case floating around, and I decided to put them in there, and then I can just add the later films on. So I've got this artwork from the official John Wick 4 poster, and I love it, and that's what it is. And what I did was I just added the collection, so the John Wick collection, and then for the back I've got this artwork, and then for the spine, again, just simple. I don't mind it when they're just simple spines. So the John Wick collection. So this is ready for all the next ones to come, and instead of taking up 5, potentially going to be 8 or 9 Blu-ray cases, it takes up that much room on my shelf. And if they bring out even more, I can this size cover would fit a 12-disc one like the others. So yeah, I really like this type of artwork, and yeah, it's my favourite one so far. So yeah, so that's that one. Continuing with the Blu-rays, I've got one more. This one's quite a basic one. I, for some reason, randomly thought I haven't watched films like Forgetting Sarah Marshall or Getting to the Greek. They're not my favourite films either, but I just find them a bit quite funny, and just remember when I was a bit younger, and my wife Hannah likes them, so I thought, well, I'm going to order them and make a case for them to go in. So I've just put Forgetting Sarah Marshall in there, and then I've put the sort of sequel spin-off, Getting to the Greek, controversial I know, and then for the spine, because it's got Russell Brand's character in both of them, and he's called Audius Snow, I've just put the Audius Snow collection on there. And this is just a 2-disc case. Like I said, it's simple, but again, it saves that extra space on my shelf. Right, now we're going to move on to my Steelbooks. So I love Rush Hour. Rush Hour 1, 2 and 3. I've shown this on my Instagram and my TikTok, I think. But yeah, Rush Hour was just so much fun. And again, I used to watch it a lot when I was a young teenager. And I thought, why don't I have these? Why don't I own them? Because they're a good laugh. I love it. I do watch them on the telly every now and again, but sometimes they're hard to get on streaming, etc. So I thought, right, I'm going to make a Steelbook. I'm going to make one. I'm going to buy them. 1 and 3 were really easy to find. Number 2 was really hard to find in this country on a Blu-ray. I could not find it anywhere. So I thought I'll just go for the DVD for now, because some of the older films, they don't look too bad on DVD. And then one day when it comes on Blu-ray, I will get it. But yeah, so I thought I'm going to create a cover for this. So I've used Rush Hour 1 front cover, and then I've put the collection on there. So yeah, so that's that. And then for the spine, again, it just continues the yellow on there. And then for the back, I used an image from number 3, and then I've placed it. So I'll show you this front. So first, so I've taken an image from number 3. I've removed the background of the characters, and then I've placed it on the same colours as these. So it goes like that, and then like that. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'll take the disc out to show you the inside. So the inside, I've done number 2. Done the same again. I've removed the backgrounds and put them on the colours like that. So it goes like that, and then like that. So yeah, quite just a nice little fun little case really. And again, it doesn't take up too much room, which is nice. And yeah, and I think it's got a tiny little dent in it, but you can barely see it, and it won't bother me anyway. Put this back in a minute. And then I've got 2 more to show you. So this one I did show on Instagram. I think I shared it a few days ago. So Sin City. Now, I've only watched these recently. I was late to the game on these, and I love them. Now, I know the second one isn't as good, but I just love the style of them. I just love the characters. And again, I thought it needs a Steelbook case. And so I've done the front cover of the first film, and again, just I love the artwork on this. The second one, I tried to get something that mirrors it, so done this on the back. Now for the spine, I've called it the Tales of Sin City, because I thought that sounds better than the Sin City collection, Sin City 1 and 2. So I've called it the Tales of Sin City on like a rainfall thing. And then I'll take these discs out. So I've got the Sin City 1 recut and extended, and then standard number 2, and down there. So there's my artwork there. So yeah, so I quite like that. Nice artwork for that one. And then moving to my last one. Now again, Kick-Ass, great film that I used to watch again when I was growing up, and it's sitting on my shelf for ages. I had number 1 on Steelbook, really basic Steelbook that cost me £1 in CX when I first bought it. And in that case, it's just very plain. It's very plain on the front. It's just got yellow writing, but it holds 3 discs. And I thought, well, why not utilise that? It already had insides already, so why not just update the outside and make that Kick-Ass 1 and 2? So that's what I did. So for the front, I found this nice artwork here. And then for the back, I used Kick-Ass 2 and try to find a similar type of image for that. And then I just called it the Kick-Ass collection. And then, like I said, inside was already done. Oh, so this, I forgot about this. So this is from when I used to work at the cinema. I used to have film reels. So you won't be able to see this at the moment, but it says, it's got Jim Carrey's name on it from the credits. And I'll keep that in my case. I haven't got many of these, but I'll keep that in my case. That's from my cinema days, which I will talk about soon. So if I take these out, so I didn't need to put artwork in here because it already had it, and it's good enough for me. So yeah, so those are my customs, and I'll keep doing it. I keep looking at my collection all the time and thinking, how can I save room? Now, by doing that, it's made me enjoy film again, because I was getting to a point where I was running out of space, and like I've said before, with my Marvel ones, I ended up getting rid of all of my Avenger films because I just had no space, and I didn't feel great about it. And then when I started this business, I thought, no, I'm going to buy them all back, and I'm going to condense my collection, and I've done it. And I've managed to just go, and I look at my collection all the time, just think, what can I do about it? Mostly with things that have ended, they're easy to put into a box set. So say like the Dark Knight, I might put the Dark Knight trilogy in its own Steelbook because they're not going to make more. So those are always good things to look out for. Or like when I did Fast and Furious, I condensed 12 discs to 2 cases, and I can add more if I want to, and they don't take up any shelf space, and I've got more room. And it just made me love film again, really. And just being able to make your own Steelbooks is nice. And again, like your own Blu-ray cases, and like John Wick, I can just keep adding without thinking, am I going to have room for this next film? So yeah, so obviously that's what we do. So we create all different covers. Business just keeps getting better and better, and there's lots of people out there that want to do the same thing. They want to condense their collection, or they want to invent something new. So yeah, thanks for watching. Let us know what your favourite custom is from my collection. There will be a part 3. You can see some reels on our Instagram as well. I'll put the link in the bio in our description box for that. Please do go subscribe, give us a like, and yeah, we'll speak to you soon. Cheers.